Hi, community leaders. I'm Dr. Walker. My heart has really gone out to you in this season because I feel like everything's been polarized. And as a community leader, you're probably pulled in many different directions. And so my heart has hurt for you. And as I've seen questions come in just around COVID 19, I realized not every community leader is trained in public health terminology, disease equations, interpretations. And so I thought I'd take a minute today to just answer a common question that's been coming in around understanding survival rate and mortality rate, and really the equations that we use to look at disease and why. And so I'm sure you've heard a lot of people come to you and say, oh, COVID 19 has a 99 point whatever percent survival rate, as though it's not important and as though we shouldn't care that much about it. And I want to just explain to you how we actually express mortality rate and why it's not a percentage like that. When we look at mortality rate from a disease or death from a disease, what we look at is the death per 100,000 people. And that 100,000 is important because it gives us a level playing field to be able to look at different diseases and compare and contrast and really look at the impact of disease. When we divide those numbers, like what people are trying to do with saying 99% survival rate, is we lose people in that. We lose the impact of people and the weight of people impacted by the disease. And we just see fractions of percent, which our brains can't even really process 1/100th of a percent of a difference. And so when we look at the top 10 causes of death in the United States before COVID, we had heart disease as number one. And what that was responsible for was approximately 161 deaths per 100,000 people. But if you divided that 161 by the 100,000 people, you would see a fraction of a percent and again see a 99 point whatever percent survival rate, which is why that's incorrect to say that. The number two cause of death was cancer. And again, it was 146 deaths per 100,000 people. And if you divided that again, you would get a fraction of a percent. So that's why we don't express survival rate as a fraction of a percent, because our top 10 causes of death would look very, very similar and we wouldn't be able to see the impact on people. When we look at COVID 19 mortality rate, right now it's approximately 233 deaths per 100,000 people in the US. And so we can see that it's topped our list of causes of death in the US. And so I just hope that you gain a little understanding and know how to interpret mortality rate and why you should see it as a death per 100,000 and not a percentage, not a 99 point whatever percent survival rate. The other thing I just wanted to remind you of today is in this polarizing season, I've seen disease polarized as well. Like if you care about one disease, you can't care about another and those suffering. And I want to remind you today that your heart is big enough to care about people suffering from COVID, and you can care about people suffering from suicide, depression, anxiety, heart disease. You can care about all people suffering from all disease. And when diseases like these are preventable, we can all do our part to take steps to stop the spread of disease and reduce suffering. So I hope you're encouraged today as you lead communities and to really feel like you can understand mortality rate and how we express that. And just a reminder to be encouraged that you can really care about all people suffering from all diseases and you don't have to pick and choose.